Chapter 45 Demon Mirror Plan. Until now, none of their research institutes have mastered the method of dealing with second-level imitators, otherwise, the method would have been announced long ago. Those small countries will not lose control, causing the international situation to fall into the current situation. The method is there. Yang Mo nodded and paused, but there is still one core technology missing. In the previous life. In the third round, China also suffered an invasion from Chu Ru. Then China's scientific research team discovered that the 12-sided crystal in Chu Ru's head contains strange energy. Tested. It can even be absorbed by the human body, allowing people to evolve and master different extraordinary abilities at random. So a vigorous plan was launched. Extraordinary beings were created. The whole country rejoiced, however, relying on the creation of a large number of extraordinary people. China finally only lasted until the 12th round. Final moments. China's scientific research team suddenly woke up. Extraordinary beings cannot save China, let alone survive the crisis brought about by the trials of civilization. Learning from painful experiences, the ultimate plan that gathers all the wisdom of China was born. Science fiction heaven. In this huge series of plans, there happens to be a weapon that can monitor the whole country and identify all monsters and monsters. Monster Research Institute. An old professor with gray hair and over 60 years old was staring at the experimental table intently, observing various test data fed back from the instrument. As the top professor of space science and electromagnetic applications in China. After the civilization trial comes. He was deployed here and was responsible for research in the fields of space conduction and electromagnetism. In front of his eyes. A 12-sided crystal was placed, shining with crystal clear light. Hundreds of electromagnetic wave beams pass through it, forming structures similar to the corona. Professor, sure, we have observed it. Another researcher exclaimed, excitedly, as we expected, this strange crystal increases the amplitude of electromagnetic fluctuations 10 times, the energy flow increased 20 times. Hear the words. Shi Changrui quickly stepped forward to confirm the authenticity of the data. A few seconds later. He laughed with the same excitement. Ha! This is definitely a century-long discovery in the field of electromagnetism. The amplitude of the fluctuations is 10 times, and the energy flow is 20 times. The crystals in this monster's body are actually natural magnifying glasses, capable of creating large-scale magnetohydrodynamic waves. This means, we have completely solved the problem of energy transmission. In the future, we can completely realize long-distance communication between stars, and even talk to the sun in real time. He looks ecstatic, dancing, hug everyone you meet. He does not have the demeanor of a top domestic professor at all. Ahem, Professor Sure, the dean has made a breakthrough in research, please report to him immediately. A researcher next to him interrupted his frantic state and reminded him, are we? Sure Changrui listened. He gradually calmed down and nodded, yes, the dean named us to study this direction. I have to report this good news to the dean quickly. This research breakthrough. In addition to the credit of their scientific research team, a large part of it is thanks to Yang Mo for his guidance. It is Yang Mo. Let them start from the electromagnetic field and discover the magical effect of this 12-sided crystal. Think of this. He quickly stood up and brought the data from the latest test, leave the laboratory in a hurry, knocked on the door of the dean's office. Half an hour later, core confidential conference room. Shi Changrui sat on the chair blankly, looking at the unknown faces around him, confused. Especially Yang Mo, who was at the front, directly showed a PPT. There are 5 big characters written on the back. Demon Mirror Plan. Who am I? Where am I? What do I want to do? He swallowed. Countless question marks came to mind. I just reported a research result in the electromagnetic field results. Next second, I was dragged to this conference room by Yang Mo and participated in this inexplicable meeting. Before starting today's meeting, I would like to ask Professor Shi Changrui from the field of space science and electromagnetic applications to introduce to you the latest research breakthroughs made by our institute. Yang Mo's voice came from the front. I just finished speaking. Everyone's eyes in the conference room were unanimously focused on Shi Changrui. Shi Changrui swallowed his saliva and had to take a deep breath. Adjust the status. In front of everyone. Introduction. Not long ago, our scientific research team conducted a comprehensive analysis of the 12-sided crystal in the head of the 002 imitator and discovered a new breakthrough in the electromagnetic field. With the help of this 12-sided crystal, large-scale magnetohydrodynamic waves can be created, with the wave amplitude increased by 10 times and the energy flow increased by 20 times. This means interstellar communication. It will no longer be a patent in science fiction works. Even on the Earth, we can talk to the sun in real time and make video calls, observe the wonders of the universe 150 million kilometers away. Speaking of this, he became more and more excited. Spitflies. Ahem, that's enough. Yang Mo coughed lightly and interrupted Shi Chongrui. Later, take a deep breath, looking at the crowd, said in a deep voice, everyone should be aware of the current international situation. Small countries have been controlled by 002 imitators, trying to start a war that will affect the world. And domestic, the situation is not optimistic either. 002 imitators are like tarsal maggots, lurking in the shadows, and may have penetrated many of our middle and high-level officials. The system and execution capabilities of small countries. Weak, therefore, it is the first to be controlled. The remaining big countries seems to be calm, but everyone knows that those 002 imitators can change their appearance at will and may replace those middle and high-level people at any time. God is unaware of it. Therefore, we must identify these 002 imitators hidden in the country as soon as possible and eliminate them as soon as possible. This is also the purpose of my convening this meeting. Yang Moshwan, he slowly turned around and pointed at the three words on the PPT behind him. Demon mirror. This is exactly one part of the science fiction heavenly plan. With the power of technology, create the magical mirror that is elevated above the Nantian Gate in myths and legends. Be able to identify monsters and have insight into the changes of demons. Hiss. Shi Chongrui couldn't help but gasp when he heard this. His face was full of shock, but turned around. However, he found that other people attending the meeting were not as surprised as him. On the contrary, everyone's face showed enthusiasm and excitement. Except for Professor Shi, everyone here is an old man who has participated in the Book of Life and Death project. Ahead, Yang Mo's voice came again. Professor Shi's latest research results happen to be the core technology of the Demon Mirror project. Hearing this, Shi Chongrui couldn't help but be stunned. Chapter 46. The United States, the savior of human civilization. We will save the Earth. My own research findings. It is obviously in the field of long-distance transmission and interstellar communication. Why is it suddenly related to the Demon Mirror? We all know it. The 002 imitator is extremely good at imitating, and can perfectly transform into anyone's appearance, copying information such as memory, DNA, and brainwaves to make it look like the real thing, making it extremely difficult to identify. But there is one thing they cannot change. That is, ahead. Yang Mo paused slightly and said in a deep voice, electromagnetic waves. In the past life, the Chinese scientific research team worked hard to discover the flaws in the disguise of the 002 imitator. They can copy any information, only electromagnetic waves. It is innate to their race, unique and unchangeable. Actually, this is true for the 5 races of gods, demons, witches, ghosts, and spirits recorded in the classic of mountains and seas. This is their unique racial mark. Unless you reach a certain level, you can reverse and hide this unique mark. Be thorough. Light is also a type of electromagnetic wave. It is precisely because of its existence that everything can be recognized, and Demon Mirror. It was conceived on this basis, utilizing 12-sided crystals, making an electromagnetic signal amplifier. A large amount of metal is then used to make the mirror body, and the enhanced and amplified electromagnetic wave beam is mapped to the sky over China, transformed into the legendary Demon Mirror. Because the metal itself has the function of absorbing electromagnetic waves and conducting them. Specifically, the Demon Mirror will automatically absorb the magnetic field and electromagnetic waves of all living creatures in China. Illumination imaging. It's like looking in the mirror, and this mirror, it will illuminate the essence of all living things and restore their true colors. At that time any monster comes, China can discover them at the first time. Below, after everyone heard Yang Mo's idea, their hearts were filled with excitement. Excited, they have all experienced the Book of Life and Death project and created an impossible miracle with their own hands. At this moment, everyone was extremely excited to participate in the Demon Mirror project again. But, Dean Yang, there is indeed no problem with the idea you just mentioned in theory, but I have a few doubts. Shi Chongrui recovered from the shock and questioned. First, use metal to make a mirror body to map the enhanced electromagnetic beam into the sky over China, covering 9.6 million square kilometers. How much metal material is needed for such a huge project? Second, how many electromagnetic beams need to be transmitted to form a Demon Mirror over China? Even though it was shocking, but he still raised questions objectively from a professional perspective. The myth must be realized. This project is destined to be extremely huge. I've calculated it. Yang Emo smiled slightly and pointed behind him. PPT screen. A sudden change, everyone turned sideways and focused on the PPT, so I divided the demon mirror plan into 3 steps. Yang Mo's voice sounded faintly. The first step is to use 12-sided crystals to manufacture electromagnetic signal amplifiers, electromagnetic signal receivers, electromagnetic signal collectors, and other devices. The second step is to collect 10 million tons of copper to build a super mirror. The third step is to gather all the industrial electricity in the country to conduct electromagnetic beams and store energy for the final shape of the demon mirror. Meeting room. Everyone stared blankly at the 3 steps on the PPT and couldn't help but swallow. Crazy, this plan is so crazy. Copper's conductivity and absorption of electromagnetic waves are indeed the best, but 10 million tons of copper, the stack is equivalent to a giant mountain of 100 meters, and China's copper production capacity for a whole year is no more than this. And gather all the industrial electricity in the country to store energy for the demon mirror. It even makes their scalp numb. This means, during the energy storage stage, all industrial development in China will stagnate. It may affect China's summer's long-term development. The impact is immeasurable. The economic losses, it is an astronomical figure. Now, does anyone still think that the demon mirror plan cannot be realized? Yang Emo glanced at the audience, with an indescribable determination in his eyes. In the conference room, there was silence. Then I announce. Yang Emo nodded and pointed behind him. The demon mirror project will be launched immediately, and the research base will be located here. BR and PPT. A complete map of China jumped out Yang Mo's fingers. Finally, it stopped on a high mountain in the west of 9.6 million square kilometers. There are the ancestors called it Kunlun. At the same time. As the trial progresses, the global crisis is getting worse. A small country out of control, more and more, keep stirring up disputes, conflicts with neighboring countries and provocations against big powers. Fortunately, the big countries, including the Wuchang, all understand the sinister intentions of these monsters, all maintain restraint, not really involved in the wars of these small countries. It's only the 10th day of this round of trials. Why did it suddenly become like this? Who said before that the monsters in the second round were weak? There are already 40 in the world. Many small countries are out of control. If we continue fighting like this, the war will spread to us sooner or later. I just hope that the 5 permanent members will come forward quickly and control the global situation. You think too much. The Wuchang itself cannot be protected now. Looking at each item, people from all over the world have finally realized how ridiculous and naive they were before. Just 10 days, the situation on Earth was turned upside down by the 002 imitator. Obviously, they are here to destroy all civilizations on Earth. For a while, people all over the world are panicking. Everyone is worried about the outbreak of all-out war and the emergence of a world-destroying nuclear war. 3 days later, the 13th day of the trial, when the morale of people in various countries was low, the United States held a press conference. American people. Through the unremitting efforts of the Department of Defense and scientific research institutes, we have found a way to break the civilization test. In front of reporters from all over the world, Jobs said, he excitedly announced, from now on, human beings can also master magical abilities. They will be the saviors of human civilization and the real-life captain of the United States. Earth's civilization will be saved by us. BR next. Behind him. 3 people walked out. They are the first batch of chosen ones born in our country's Chosen One project. Jobs looked excited and gave the camera to the 3 people behind him. When everyone was surprised, among the 3, a man suddenly rose out of thin air. It actually got rid of gravity and floated in mid-air. One person snapped his fingers, and blazing flames instantly condensed in his palms. The blazing heat, the reporters present were forced to step back. The last person just waved his hand gently. The reporters were horrified to find that all the microphones in their hands came out and were suspended in front of the man. As the chosen ones, their respective abilities are air control, fire control, and mind control. Seeing that the effect was achieved, Jobs stepped forward to explain. Chapter 47. Sorry, we don't have the Chosen One in China. After realizing the horror of 002 imitators, the United States resolutely launched the Chosen One project and recruited 1,000 participants from the military. Eventually, only these 3 people survived and completed the Chosen One experiment. Perfectly absorbs the 12-sided crystal, became the first batch of Chosen Ones. Acquired strange abilities. We have conducted tests and found that ordinary 002 imitators are vulnerable to them.
Jobs smiled slightly and continued, a combat-type extraordinary person can even compete with a person. Fight with the undead of every level without falling behind. Subsequently, he showed a battle test scene in front of reporters. In the video, the three of them easily crushed the imitator and fought equally with the First Order undead. The combat power is amazing. Hiss. The reporters at the scene gasped and looked shocked. Humans can actually master magical supernatural powers and fight against monsters without falling behind, that's for sure. Future IT will definitely be the world of the chosen ones. Quietly, this press conference in the United States caused a sensation all over the world. On a global scale, there was a wave of discussion about the chosen one. After being inspired, the American people felt as if they had been given a shot of blood. The statement, "American superheroes will save the world," is spread everywhere on the internet, and the people of all countries. The mood is quite complicated. Envy, jealous again. Their country does not have as good a scientific research team as the United States, and it has not yet mastered how to mass produce the chosen ones. China, people have also heard about the United States Chosen One project. With doubts and curiosity, influxed into the live broadcast room on the official website of the Monster Research Institute, asked, Dean, have we in China mastered this kind of similar Chosen One plan? The United States is so shameless and has actually started to promote them as the saviors of the Earth. Americans are like this all the time. It feels like the Earth will not turn around if they leave them. One thing to say, those three chosen ones are really handsome and have very strong abilities. I also want to be the chosen one. At Anchor, we in China should also have our own chosen one plan, right? In the live broadcast room, in the discussion barrage, 9 out of 10 sentences were related to the chosen 1.3 chosen ones born in the United States. The people of China are also a little unable to sit still. Human body mastered supernatural abilities. IT makes everyone envious and hopes that their country can also master this technology. However, sorry, we in China have not mastered the technology of the chosen one. Zhao Ziyan looked at the barrage full of expectations and could only tell the truth. Replied. Now, the focus of the Monster Research Institute is on the Monster Mirror project. On superpowers, there is no research breakthrough, I'm not sure. It doesn't matter. We in China have done well enough. It's not a big deal if we don't have the chosen one. Although we don't have the chosen one, we do have the Book of Life and Death. If it weren't for the special monsters this round, we could have directly activated the Book of Life and Death to wipe them out. Don't be discouraged, everyone has received a 100% physical bonus. If we fight, these three chosen ones may not be our opponents. I'll put it here, even if there are no chosen ones, our China rating in this round of trials is definitely number 1. In the live broadcast room, the audience was visibly disappointed, but they all expressed their understanding and did not complain about the Monster Research Institute. He also spontaneously encouraged me, thank you everyone. Looking at these barrages, Zhao Ziyan felt warm in her heart. Please believe in the Monster Research Institute, and please believe in China, we will never let you down. Actually, when the Institute conducted research on dodecahedral crystals, it discovered that it can be absorbed by the human body. It's the Dean, who defies all opinions, leading the research direction to the electromagnetic field and giving up the direction of the chosen one. Abandon the near and seek the FAR. It is easy to give up but difficult to find. Choose the demon mirror. Plan with epic difficulty, and put all the energy of the whole hospital into it. Dean, you must succeed. She looked out the window and prayed silently in her heart. China, Kunlun Mountain, temporary base conference room. Dean, this is the design drawing of the electromagnetic signal amplifier, electromagnetic signal collector, and electromagnetic signal distributor. A thick stack of design drawings was placed in front of Yang Mo. Sher Chongrui had dark circles under his eyes and a look of exhaustion on his face. In order to design these devices, during his 3 days, almost never sleep, with a professional team in the electromagnetic field, we overcame difficulties and finally completed the design drawings. Thank you for your hard work. Yang Mo looked at everyone, his eyes full of affirmation and appreciation. The demon mirror plan is divided into 3 steps. In the first stage, the core device needs to be manufactured using the latest technology in the electromagnetic field. Time is running out, that's why he only gave Sher Chongrui and others 3 days. He didn't disappoint himself either. The design work of 3 devices was completed within 3 days. Next, all that needs to be done is to develop these 3 devices, and to create the main body of the demon mirror, a giant bronze mirror with a diameter of 400 meters. I have communicated with the Bureau of Mineral Resources.
Yang Emo looked at Cui Tianhao and said in a deep voice, "Now all the copper resources in the country are being processed through various channels, shipped to Kunlun Mountain continuously. The making of the bronze mirror will be left to you." After repeated calculations, IT is necessary to embody the mythical and legendary demon mirror and radiate an area of 9.6 million square kilometers in China. The bronze mirror body, the diameter must reach 400 meters. It was precisely because of this that he set up the research and development base of the demon mirror in Kunlun Mountain. The terrain here is high. Surrounded by mountains, this giant bronze mirror with a diameter of 400 meters can be erected on the mountains. How long is the mission cycle? Cui Tianhao asked solemnly after hearing the mission. He once participated in the Book of Life and Death project and presided over the construction of tens of thousands of brainwave base stations. A rich experience, but I still feel a lot of pressure at this time. The difficulty of constructing 10,000 brainwave base stations is that the project volume is huge and 10,000 strategic points are being carried out simultaneously, and the giant mirror, not only do you need to polish 10 million tons of copper, but you also need to consider the topography, environment, reflection angle, and conduction of electromagnetic waves. The difficulty level is high but not low. 7 days. Yang Emo looked at him and gave him a deadline. Hear the words. Cui Tianhao's body trembled. My face became a little ugly, but he also understands that 002 imitators are now frantically infiltrating middle and high-level people in the country. Small foreign countries are even more eyeing. Time is running out. 7 days. Perhaps this is the longest deadline given by Yang Emo. That's enough. His eyes were red and he gritted his teeth. A military order was issued on the spot. If the task cannot be completed within 7 days, I will come to see you. Chapter 48, Miracle of Infrastructure Project. The main body of the demon mirror is completed. As soon as these words came out, it was like a fire was lit in the conference room. The crowd was excited and enthusiastic. They all rushed forward, asked Yang Emo to assign tasks to them. The harder the better. See the scene. Yang Emo felt warm in his heart and showed a happy smile. Cabinet meeting room. Several old men are handling government affairs. An old man raised his head, his expression solemn, and his eyebrows filled with worry. Yesterday, 3 more small countries lost control. We have encountered more than 20 provocations by small countries during this period. As the second round of trials proceeds, the world is becoming increasingly unstable. Small countries have lost control one after another and made frequent provocations, leaving major countries around the world in a state of distress. Not even a fight. It doesn't matter if you don't fight. The most terrifying thing is actually the second-level imitators hidden in the country. Wang Yusaid lightly. The Book of Mountains and Seas does record methods for identifying imitators, but that is only effective for first-level imitators. Second-level imitators, already able to resist this weakness, they will not reveal their true form when someone calls their name. They are now lurking in every corner. I'm afraid I'm trying to find ways to contact the superior person and then replace him. Follow Yang Mo's suggestion. The bad old men in their cabinet have now strengthened their security forces and are determined not to meet any suspicious people. If they all replace, the blow will be fatal to us. The United States has also proposed the Chosen One project. Another old man suddenly spoke and said faintly, "Let me tell you, we can actually try research in this area." No. You don't have to put your eggs in one basket. As a human being, master supernatural abilities. This road, IT is a way to fight against the invasion of civilization trial monsters. At least, it is more reliable than the science fiction heavenly plan proposed by Yang Mo. Don't trust those who employ them, and don't trust those who doubt them. Besides, now that monsters have infiltrated among ordinary people, can the chosen ones find them out? Qualifications. The oldest man waved his hand and looked at the demon mirror, plan placed on the table. The eyes are full of affirmation and appreciation. With the power of technology, create the mythical demon mirror, sweep the world, and identify all the monsters in the territory. This is a romance unique to Chinese people, but everyone. The old man who had been silent looked at the crowd and reminded, the third phase of Yang Mo's plan requires allocating the country's industrial power to provide. The energy storage of the demon mirror is activated, and the cycle is at least 5 days. Everyone should know what it means, right? The other old men listened. They couldn't help but remain silent. The 10 million tons of copper required in the second phase is not bad. Just 1 year of copper production capacity. Dedicate all the efforts of a country to IT can still be prepared, but in the third stage, all the industrial electricity in the country needs to be allocated to store energy for the demon mirror. To know. Our development focus in recent years has been on industry. Civilian electricity only accounts for more than 30%. Industrial electricity consumption accounts for 64.8% of the country's total electricity, that is to say, Yang Mo's plan will extract 64.8% of the country's electricity in the third phase, last for at least 5 days. By then, without power, all industrial facilities will come to a standstill, a factory shut down, traffic is suspended, the mall is closed, school is closed. Medical shortage, food spoiled, the remaining electricity can only guarantee residents' daily life. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a return to a semi-primitive society. The losses caused to us are even more immeasurable. Is it worth it to give up industrial development and return to a semi-primitive society? It's worth it. The most senior old man stood up and said in an extremely affirmative tone. Next, Wang Yu also stood up and joined. As long as the demon mirror comes out, it will definitely be able to sweep the world and eliminate the second-order imitators in the country. The threat posed by the second-order imitators. It's just too big to compare with that. The losses caused by returning to a semi-primitive society in a short period of time are completely negligible. Yes, now is the time for strong men to cut off their wrists.
I also believe in Dean Yang.
Don't forget, everyone, the reason why we were able to obtain the SSS level evaluation in the first round of trials is it's precisely because of the Book of Life and Death plan proposed by Dean Yang.
Compared with the rewards of the civilization trial, I think the Chosen One plan is not worth mentioning.
Other old men spoke one after another. Most people, they all support the Demon Mirror plan proposed by Yang Mo. The minority obeys the majority. Soon. A directive document stamped with the seal of the cabinet was sent to the National Energy Administration, Electric Power Bureau, Industry Bureau, and other departments. Time flies. 7 days later, Kunlun Mountain Base. Under the leadership of Cui Tianhao, tens of thousands of construction workers worked together. At the top of this mountain. An infrastructure project miracle was once again created. A huge bronze mirror with a diameter of 400 meters rises from the ground and stretches across the top of the main peak of Kunlun Mountain. It's like putting a hat on the main peak. It is made of 10 million tons of polished copper mirror, with a thickness of 2 meters, and a large number of electromagnetic signal transmission devices embedded inside. Millions of components, all included in it.
Dean, fortunately you have lived up to your command.
Cui Tianhao, wearing a safety helmet, saluted Yang Mo. His eyes were bloodshot, the lips are pale, his mental state was on the verge of collapse. However, he still dragged his tired body and returned the military order to Yang Mo. I just finished speaking. The obsession dissipates. His vision went dark and he fell to the ground.
Old Cui? Old Cui?
Yang Mo quickly stretched out his hand to support Cui Tianhao, looking anxiously. Doctor, call the doctor quickly. Not long after, several doctors and nurses in white coats hurried over and checked with professional medical equipment.
How is he?
Overworked, the heart rate soared, which seriously exceeded the physical burden, which led to syncope. This symptom has appeared in thousands of construction sites. A doctor took off his stethoscope and replied, "But don't worry too much, Dean. Now the people's physical fitness has improved by 100%, and their resilience is amazing.
He will recover in a short time."
Br Yang Mo breathed a sigh of relief. In previous lives. As his closest comrade, Cui Tianhao was busy building various fortifications to defend against monsters, and eventually died of overwork. Fortunately, the physical fitness of all people in this life has been unprecedentedly improved. This should not happen again. It's just, even with a 100% increase in physical fitness, Cui Tianhao and many workers still suffered from syncope symptoms. This means, in these 7 days, each of them tried their best and gave everything for the construction of the Demon Mirror. Yang Mo's heart trembled, and the deepest string was hit. The eye sockets are slightly red. Turn around, looking at the deputy next to Cui Tianhao. Please arrange it. After the Demon Mirror project is completed, in addition to the original salary, each person will be given an additional bonus of 100,000.